Okay, at this time we're going to do closing statements, 2 minutes each. Going first will be Dan, second will be Laura, third will be Eric, and fourth will be Alesia.
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate you moderating tonight, and I appreciate everyone coming here today. We are truly blessed to live in New Hartford. And New Hartford is more than 4 lines on a page. It's the families and the people that are in this room and that come out through our town. Alesia and I have tried our best over the years to make sound decisions for our town. And we've heard a lot of talk today about what different people think. About, Dan does this or Dan does that. And I tell you right now, I lay awake many nights and have lost a lot of hair trying to do the right thing for this town. Okay? I used to have a lot more hair and I didn't wear glasses. But what I tell you is that we do work together, and our Board of Selectmen meetings are very, very consensus building. And when you talk about change, I would tell you this. Laura's been on the board with us for a couple of years, and we've probably had 140 votes. And she has agreed with our propositions every single time but one. So when you talk about change, and you talk about direction, you talk about agreeing and working together, we have had consensus, and Laura has agreed with the proposals that we put forth, whether it's been budget, whether it's been talking about capital improvements. We have worked together. So when you talk and you listen to all the dissension that you might hear tonight, the voting record speaks volumes, because she votes with us every time. Okay? We do our best to maintain the #1 job is affordability. Make sure you can afford to live in this town, take care of your family, and we are at your disposal. We do listen. You call my house at night and you need me, I am there. I work 24/7 hours a day, 7 days a week. I am there. I come to your house. If it's a dog barking, I'm there. If you have problems on the street, I'm there. If there's an accident, fire, I'm there. I support our firefighters, our ambulance, everybody in the world, our DPW. I go snow plowing with the guys if they need me. There is no job too big or too small. I'm blessed to have Alesia. She works hard, and we do it for you because we care about your families. And we'll try our best over the next 2 years to continue that tradition.
Also for coming out tonight. It was such a great turnout. I think we only planned for 80 chairs here, and I could see a lot more than that. So thank you for being interested enough to come out and hear what we all have to say. I want to thank the Business Council for sponsoring this event. It was a couple weeks in the planning, but I think it all went down very nicely, so thank you. I'd like to say that we call this a town for all seasons, and this is a town for everyone. From our young children, families with young children, to our seniors. We want to keep all of our residents here. A lot of people moving out of state, moving out of Connecticut for various reasons, but our goal is to keep our people here. Some of our folks are generations, some are founders of this, families are founders of this town, and we want to keep those folks here. That's part of our tradition, our heritage, and our character. Just want to get back to something that Dan just mentioned about my voting record. I think I started out my introduction by saying that I vote based on information provided before me. I think that I disagreed more than one time with Alesia and Dan, but one of the big issues I did disagree with them on is the fact that they wanted to zero out our budget for Foothills V&A. We budgeted them for $30,000 3 years ago, and it went to zero 6 months ago. And I spent the greater part of the summer and the fall trying to restore money to pay for services for our elderly and our most vulnerable. So I think that was a pretty good reason to disagree with them. I'm going to tell you this. I'm the only candidate in your option for First Selectman who's going to listen to you, who's going to respect your opinion and a difference of opinion, who's going to be responsive to you, but more importantly, is willing to compromise and meet you halfway. I'm the only choice that's going to guarantee that for you. I would be honored to be your first select woman, and I ask for your vote on November 7th. Thank you.
too want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. There were some things I wanted to get to, but I want to end positively, so I won't mention like wasted money on the bus stop down here, or the road to nowhere by Dunkin' Donuts, or cleaning up the toxic waste so Dunkin' Donuts and someone else can make money on that, or the Hoppin Road bell that mysteriously got fixed for 10 grand. But I will go positive. The positive spin basically is 95% of this town's government is volunteers. People who volunteer their time on boards and on commissions. And those are the most important people that need to be part of the government. The selectmen, the first selectmen, the board of selectmen, their job is to inspire those 95%. We have the commissions, we have the boards, and it's great people, and we have to put wind back in their sails. The last few years, all the air has been taken out of those sails. They're just sitting, the SS New Hartford is sitting in the middle of the water, and there's just no breeze. We got to put the air back in the sail. I'm afraid we're going to lose the really good people who volunteered for those commissions, for those boards. And then we're going to get people who just come on and they don't have that same knowledge or passion. We have to put the wind back in the sails, and it's simple to do. You validate their opinion. You talk to them, you build consensus, you collaborate with them, but you validate them by listening to them, not going around behind their back, or not paying attention to what they come up with. So under Laura and I, we promise to have a collaborative government that takes into account everything that happens. And one of the most important things, I think, is a liaison to the Board of Selectmen for each board. If the EDC and the Business Council had a liaison to the Board of Selectmen, they have somebody to talk to. They're not running around, and that person is responsible for dealing with questions they have. So thank you very much for coming tonight. I really appreciate getting the chance to talk in front of you. Thank you for not laughing at my wife's glasses. Thank you.
So I really appreciate that. I will say that there is a liaison to every board and commission in this town, and that's your first selectman. He's the ex officio member of every board, and you will see him at all of these board meetings. Maybe he doesn't make every single one, but he makes a lot of them every month. Again, I want to thank my husband for sharing me with you all for the past 6 years. It has been my pleasure serving in this capacity for you. I first spent 2 years on the Board of Finance. That was my niche. I'm a numbers person. I'm a tax auditor for the state of Connecticut. I go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. Dan asked me to run for his selectman running mate 6 years ago, and it just opened up my whole world. I've learned so much about this town, and it just makes me love it all the more. Another thing that you may not know about me is I volunteer my time with the Boy Scouts, Troop 19. And one of the things I do there is I teach the Citizenship in the Community Merit Badge. I love teaching that to the boys there. It teaches them what does it mean to be a good citizen in the community, to volunteer, to help your neighbors, to figure out what you can do to make your community better. I use those goals every day when I think of this town. How can I make this community better? That is what I plan to do, and I humbly ask for your support for the next 2 years. Thank you.
All right, that concludes our question and answer period for this evening. I'd like to thank you. I really do appreciate anybody that runs for office. God bless you all. There's no easy answers, it doesn't matter, and I wish you all the best success in your campaigns.